Welcome to Blessed and Boys, a podcast that always tampers legally. We're one Saints fan and one Cowboys fan, one fan of who dat and one fan of dat win. We're here to give weekly takes, game recaps, bad betting picks, game previews, and the occasional Seinfeld reference.
This week, our patron Saint/Cowboy, appropriately enough, given all the free agency maneuvering, is well-traveled wide receiver Brandon Cooks. Brandon Tawan Cooks, born September 25th, 1993, in Stockton, California. Mere days removed from my co-host here. Is obviously a wide receiver in the NFL. Attended Lincoln High School in Stockton, where he was a standout multi-sport athlete in both football and track. He went on to play football at Oregon State, where he became one of the most productive receivers in school history. In 2013, he won the Bolitnikoff Award, given to the nation's top collegiate wide receiver after leading the country in receptions and receiving yards. Cooks was selected first in the first round 2014 NFL draft by the Saints. I do believe the Saints traded up to select him in that draft,
as they are wont to do.
That one actually worked out. The Marcus Davenport one, not so much, but it happened.
Win some, you lose some.
Cooks quickly became known for his speed and his big play ability. He recorded multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons during his career. After 3 seasons in New Orleans, he was traded to the New England Patriots in 2017, where he helped the team reach Super Bowl 52. Later played for the Rams, appearing in Super Bowl 53, making him one of the few players to appear in Super Bowls with 2 different teams in consecutive years. So he was on that Rams team that beat the Saints in the NFC Championship? I guess he was, yeah.
If ChatGPT says so.
I guess he was. I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that part. Anyway, later in his career, Cooks would play for the Houston Texans and, of course, the Dallas Cowboys, continuing to be a reliable deep threat receiver and veteran presence known for his consistency. Cooks became one of the few players in NFL history to record 1,000-yard seasons with 4 different teams. Throughout his career, he's been respected for his professionalism, work ethic, and ability to produce at a high level across multiple offenses. I am Paul, the Saints fan.
I'm Brandon, the Cowboys fan.
And we're your hosts. Izzy? I don't know what time it is.
Yeah, that's it. It's go time. Let's see you lift that.
Mr. Mandelbaum, please.
It's go time.
This one's for you, Pop. It's go time.
It's go time.
You've been married 3 times.
That's it. It's go time. It's go time.
I did want to point out a couple of things. First of all, when looking for a patron Saint Cowboy, I was really hoping that there was a Mario available, because today today is Mario Day. It's March 10th.
Mario Edwards? Did he not?
He was not, because that was what I was thinking. I was like certain that Mario Edwards was like, I'm gonna have to, maybe I should have looked that up. I should have looked further into like his history. Like maybe he was on both teams but never played for one of them.
I'm almost certain he played for the Saints. Hang on, I'm looking it up.
But then the other thing was Brandon Cooks, first name Brandon, last name starts with a C. Also, birthday birthday is right after mine. So Brandon and I share a lot of things in common, So if we ever meet him, I won't need to have those cufflinks. I'll be able to just start up the conversation.
Now, obviously not the same spelling of Brandon.
Right. The letters are right next to each other on the keyboard. Maybe somebody made a typo.
Could be. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
But he does. But it's like when James Conner was expected to be released and they were spelling his name wrong. I was not having that.
Okay, quick update on this. Mario Edwards Jr. played for the New Orleans Saints. Mario Edwards Sr. played for the Dallas Cowboys.
See, that would have been a good one. We should have gone with the Bateses or the Edwards.
Mario Edwards Sr. was drafted by the Cowboys in 2000. And so they moved to the Dallas area. And then Mario Edwards Jr. was drafted by the Raiders in 2015 and then eventually made his way to the Saints in 2019.
That would have been a really good connection because we have some Raiders talk.
Yeah, we do.
Raiders Cowboys talk to get to in a little
Edwards also played for our good friend Andy's Chicago Bears. And our good friend Trang's Seattle Seahawks. Trang's going through it right now. I had to check in on her, and they need a running back. Was her feedback. So hopefully she's doing all right. Well, we'll get to more of this free agency talk. We're kind of jumping the gun here, but let's do a little housekeeping first. So if you want to contact the show, blessthemboys@gmail.com. On X, we are at bless_them_boys. I am at Paul Elliott _316. Brandon is at Ball from Grace. Anything else on Blue Sky? No? Have you been? Did you accidentally log in?
I don't think I've been on there this week. Okay. Sadly. I have not disputed.
Well, that's between you and you. That's
still mastering my domain this week.
Elon should use that. He's like, be master of your domain. Don't skeet. Tweet or something like that.
There we go.
There you go.
I'm gonna start.
That's for free, Elon. That's for free. That one's for free.
This first one's free.
That one's for free. If you are still with us on YouTube Live, first of all, thank you. Go ahead, hit that like button while you're here. Subscribe. But if you're listening to us not live, you can do so on Spotify and Apple. You can also check us out on the videos on YouTube as well. Like, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. Appreciate all the feedback. Tell the friends, tell your enemies, tell the bots. How many subscribers are we up to now, Brandon?
We are up to 24 on the YouTube.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. If you are our 25th subscriber, maybe we'll shout you out on the show next week.
Ooh, yeah.
There's something. There's
something for you.
There's something.
Fame
for you.
And fortune.
Right.
A mention on Bless Them Boys.
right. That and a dollar will not even get you a Coke. But anyway, all right. So we will get to. We have a lot of free agency talk. Obviously, both of our teams active. I would say one of our teams is a little more active than the other, but that could change here. Who knows? Maybe during the course of the show, it might change.
Well, I did get to add a couple of names this afternoon.
That's right. You did
to the list.
But before we do that, we here at Bless Them Boys do pride ourselves on being able to discuss other things.
But enough about fish. I can discuss other things, All
right, Brandon, while you're running us through your shenanigans for the week, I'm going to step aside for just a minute.
Okay, I'm going to save some of this until you get back because I want to have a discussion about a little bit of it. So I did continue my Shakespeare quest. I am now halfway through the 36 of the original first folio. I finished 12th Night this past week. Solid play, pretty funny. One of the, I would say like in the middle to top tier of the comedies that I've read so far. I think I've read most of the comedies. I think I've got 2 or 3 left. One of the better ones, not one of the best. I still think Comedy of Errors is really, really good. But it was solid. The other thing I did, I started reading, I'm taking a little bit of a break now because I want to be able to read the Odyssey before it comes out into theaters. So before I read that, I also wanted to read the Iliad. So I've read the first, I guess it's called the book, first chapter of the Iliad. The Wrath of Achilles, I believe is what that's called. So I'm one book deep into that. Putting on Suburgatory at night, that's been another thing. The other thing is March Madness is coming up, so I've been tuning the model. The problem with that is this week the package that I use to pull all of the data that I have and that I use that goes into the model, like over the weekend, like got hung up and like stopped, and so like my numbers are like not caught up through the last couple of games, and so gonna need them to fix that before by I would say next Sunday would be the absolute
this Sunday,
deadline. This Sunday.
This Sunday, yeah.
So going to need that to happen. But I've been doing that. And the other thing, which related to, two things. So on Saturday, my wife needed to do some work. So to get the kids out of her hair, I took them to see GOAT, the Steph Curry movie.
Very good. Was it the GOAT or was it?
It was fine. Our oldest really liked it. The youngest was like very happy during the movie. And then once we got home, she was like, I didn't like it. I was like, okay, well, that's fine.
Changed your tune, huh?
So for some reason she said she didn't like it. It looks like Donnie is in the chat. You want to give a shout out to Donnie?
That was my reaction a minute ago was to Donnie's comment about Maxx Crosby.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a little bit, Donnie. We see you, Donnie. We appreciate you being here.
We smoke him peace pipe. What that would make you one of those people that gives something and takes it. What's that, Jerry?
I think Donnie's upset. Donnie's probably most upset about the Crosby deal because that means the Broncos have to play him twice a year now.
Well,
maybe I don't know. It depends. Yeah. Until old Jerry gets that pocketbook out.
Knock that asking price down a couple of picks.
Right. Okay. No. We'll get to it in a minute. So let's save it.
So the GOAT was it was fine. It was like a good kids sports movie. A little bit of corn. It was the animation studio that did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So that was cool. Okay. So the animation was cool. It felt like some of the characters were like one of them looked like the main bad guy was named Maine. He was a horse. But he looked like Dylan Brooks-ish. Like that's kind of like the vibe I got from him.
You think Steph had some? I think Steph had some notes for him in the room.
Yes, and so like someone said that before, and I couldn't get that out of my head while I was watching it, and so I was like, oh man, I think she's right. So there is that, and then the other thing that I worked on this weekend, which I sent you, which will be pertinent for this show for an upcoming watch along, is I'm working on building a spelling bee model to model who do we expect to win this thing that hopefully we'll be able to update live as we watch the show.
So this is my question. So I have a couple questions. So is the intent of this thing, as you and I will be watching along as we did last year, you're going to be inputting data into this sucker and like getting back? Okay.
So the way it works. So are you familiar with an ELO model?
Yeah, it sounds familiar. Yeah.
So it's used in chess, and so like you start out at like a rating of like a 1,000, and then as you play, if you beat someone higher than you, you go up, and then it goes. And so the way this works, the system, the model is going to be called BELO, which is B and ELO combined.
All right.
So
now,
basically,
hang on, time out. Is this your creation, or are you?
This is mine.
Okay, so you're just using the ELO model to build this. Okay.
Yeah. So what it does is I've got the 2025 data for all the spellers, and then I have some historical data from words, and then the computer will kind of score based on what the word difficulty is based on certain metrics. It'll give that word like an ELO score, and then the speller, if he beats it by spelling it, that speller's ELO rating will then go up, and then based on their ELO ratings going in, it'll slowly calculate win probabilities for each speller through the rounds.
The difficulty, how is the difficulty determined for the word? Is that some kind of proprietary blend that you got going there?
Yeah, so my friend Claude and I worked on. So there were some. I think using.
By the way, just real quick. Naming an AI agent Claude. What's up with that? Like what? Like,
I don't know. I don't know how they chose that name.
Isn't Claude the name of the robot on Fox, on the NFL Fox, or is that's Cletus, right?
That's Cletus, yeah.
Okay.
But basically, it kind of takes so part of it is just what round the spellers are in. Words get harder each round, so that's part of it. So that's a baseline.
Okay, fair enough.
And then language of origin is part of it, because certain languages are easier to sound out if you know sort of the spelling rules. Like Italian is like pretty straightforward. And then there are also some like letter combinations, like a PH would make the difficulty go up. Certain like vowel combinations will make it go up. And so based on that, it'll start with a baseline based on the round, and then other incremental things will add it to make it more difficult.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I had fun with the spelling bee last year.
One of our most watched episodes, by the way.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's what
exciting stuff. Real quick, before I transition to my shenanigans over the week, haven't watched any more Suburgatory, buddy. Sorry.
We did watch one of my like favorite episodes this week. I don't remember what there were two of my like favorite episodes. One where they go to Atlantic City, and then another where like the muscular guy Ryan Shea, he like gets injured, and like this causes like an identity crisis for him. Is this
the neighbor that she made out with that one time?
Yeah.
Hated herself for it?
Idiot. Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right. So so I haven't watched any more. I'll try to get back to it. Now, are those season 1 episodes?
They are season 1. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what I did watch over the week, still with Paradise season 2. Watched the new episode that dropped yesterday. Technically it drops Sunday night, but like at like 11 o'clock our time, so I don't watch it till Monday.
Have you watched the prequel Almost Paradise?
Almost no, I haven't. I have to say though, one of the things about the show that I really enjoy, and I may have mentioned this before, is the music. So in this episode, I don't think this spoils anything, but the episode begins with a character listening to the Counting Crows version of Mr. Jones. If folks remember that song from right. And then the episode is bookend with like an acoustic version of Mr. Jones, like someone like strips it down. It's almost like, I don't think it's Natalie Imbruglia? You know what I'm talking about? She's like an acoustic. She does a lot of like acoustic stuff.
Natalie Imbruglia?
Yes. That's yeah. I don't know if it's her. I don't know if it's her.
Torn, right?
Sure. Yes. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I can see the perfect sky is torn.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
Paul. Just like, okay, get over it.
I don't know if it's her doing the version of it at the end, but it's a very like stripped down version. So I really appreciated that. It's a very good episode. This show keeps finding new ways to get you. Like my wife and I were watching it, and she's really impressed by like she calls them side quests. Like, you know, like so obviously there's like a main track that they're trying to keep on for this season, but then there's all these little like side things going on, which keeps the show interesting. There's only 3 episodes left, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I mean, they did drop 3 episodes all at once at the beginning. So was happy to catch up with that. From 2025, I did finally got around to watching the newest Superman, with Corn Sweat as Clark Kent / Superman, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, Rachel. I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to remember how to pronounce her last name, but she was Marvelous Miss Maisel, and she's now Lois Lane. And I'm not going to pronounce this guy's last name either, but his first name is Skylar, and he was on Righteous Gemstones, which I know, if Donnie's still in the chat, I know Donnie checked out Righteous Gemstones. It was one of my favorite shows. But the guy he played Danny McBride's son on that show, and he is Jimmy Olsen in the new Superman. All in all, it was a great time. I had fun watching it. Not a bad way to spend 2 hours. I mean, it was, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have some? You look like you had something.
I just saw. I didn't realize that Tariq Woolen had signed with the Eagles.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring this up later, but yeah. So
that dude's going to get toasted.
Well,
sorry, buddy.
I don't think our friend Trang is too upset about that one.
She was. I think she had enough of his
shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans.
In fact, I can.
I've never really watched much 30 Rock, but there was one episode where this one guy, like, there was a leak in a pipe, and it was like making like a shh sound, like a hissing noise, and the guy goes, "I'm getting too old for this sound coming out of this pipe." That's what I thought. That's what I thought of. And she got tired of his shenanigans.
I just realized when I tweeted that I put the wrong. I didn't put your handle.
You like
I put
that?
The whole ballgame.
You like that?
Yeah,
did you
my
see
bad.
My quote tweet?
Yeah, my bad. That happened before, and I caught it, but I didn't catch it this time. Anyway,
frankly, it sounds made up.
Sounds made up. That's actually a podcast hosted by two of my good friends, Blake and Gabe. But so check them out. The whole ballgame.
Okay.
It's kind of like this show, but they do baseball. But they listen to or they watch old baseball games and do like commentary on them. So check them out.
Is it like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 type situation?
Yeah, but they also talk about like context behind the games. Like I think they did an episode recently, or maybe not too recently, on the 1994 All-Star Game, which was the last game before the strike. So yeah, I would highly recommend you check them out. I did watch a movie with the Seinfeld connection. The movie's called Primal Fear. This was a rewatch for me. I hadn't seen it in quite some time. Are you familiar with Primal Fear, Brandon?
The name sounds familiar.
So this is Richard Gere, stars as a defense attorney who is defending a young man played by Edward Norton. This is actually Edward Norton's debut performance. He is accused of murdering he is accused of murdering a cardinal or a bishop in the Catholic Church. And that is one of the signs
with a candlestick.
No, it's actually kind of gruesome, actually, like the way he meets his end. But this is actually one of the connections to Seinfeld. The guy who plays the bishop who was killed, that's kind of sets off the whole story. The actor's name is Stanley Anderson. Now, you may not recognize that name, but you might recognize the name Judge Arthur Vandelay from the finale episode of Seinfeld. So that gentleman plays in Primal Fear and also is in the finale episode of Seinfeld. The guy that I caught right away, one of the detectives that investigates the crime scene and later testifies in the case, the actor's name is Brian Reddy. You may not recognize that name, but you might recognize Dan the High Talker from the Pledge Drive episode.
He's got me nuts. I can't stop thinking about him.
That's my favorite. My favorite part is when he calls the Pledge Drive and Kramer's like, "Look, buddy, you gotta stop this." Like, And then when Elaine confuses Nana for him and tells Nana to drop dead.
Why don't you drop dead?
You told my Nana to drop dead.
She's on a very fixed income.
It's an underrated episode of Seinfeld, is the Pledge Drive. It's also the Danny Tartable episode for those keeping score at home. And the other Seinfeld connection is Tony Plana. What's Donnie saying here? When I was 12, I was at my friend's house for a sleepover, and Dad took us to see Primal Fear in the theater. Okay, so Brandon, have you seen Primal Fear? I don't know if you
no,
said, okay.
No, I have not.
Okay, the fact that somebody took a 12-year-old to see this movie is pretty effed up. Like I'm just gonna be honest with you. like that movie is like you would know that you should not be 12-year-olds should not be watching this movie.
I think the one like movie like outside of my age range that my dad took me to see was when I was like 5 or 6. We went to the movie. We went to the movies to see. We were going to see the Coneheads, and the Coneheads, like Sack Lunch, was sold out.
All right,
and so my dad instead took me to
English
see,
Patient.
No, it's not the English Patient. Sex in a Tub doesn't work. It was In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood.
Oh my gosh! That came out in 93. So I was you were 7.
7 years old.
Yep, you were. Yeah. Well, because I remember my mom rented that movie from Blockbuster when it came out. So that would have been like 94 probably. So I was probably like 10. And like I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool movie. And then all of a sudden John Malkovich is shooting people down with a wooden gun. But yeah, no. But all in all, Primal Fear, very good movie. I don't want to talk too much about it because it has one of the best twist endings of a movie ever. So I'll just leave it at that. It also stars Laura Linney, Andre Braugher, Frances McDormand, which is kind of weird. Like this is the same year that Fargo came out. So like Frances McDormand does this movie and Fargo in the same year. And it's like kind of two completely different parts.
Frances McDormand, of Lady Macbeth fame.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Speaking of movies with Denzel, week 10. Wait, is that right? Is it week 10 or week 11? Did I do week 10 last week? I think it's week 11. I think I got the number. Let me double check that real quick.
Got your rods and cones all mixed up.
Yeah, it's week 11, so I have it wrong.
Okay.
It's week 11. But anyway, so the prompt this week for the Cinechums Challenge was 2026 nominees. So let me explain a little bit here. So the idea behind the prompt was to watch, if you haven't caught up with your Oscar-nominated films, the Oscars are this Sunday, March 15th, as we are recording this. You know, go watch your Oscar-nominated, those films that you haven't watched. So, but what they do is they have kind of a loophole where they say, if you don't want to watch a 2026 nominated film, you can go back and watch a previously nominated film. Now, the only film that Denzel was in that could have been nominated was Highest to Lowest, but Highest to Lowest was not nominated for anything. So what I chose to do is to go back through previous movies that Denzel has been in that were nominated. Now, I did manage to connect it to the 2026 nomination. So the movie I ended up choosing was Malcolm X, which, of course, Denzel was nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role. This was the first time he was nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role. He had been previously nominated for Best Actor in a Supporting Role twice, once for Cry Freedom, the other time for Glory, and he did win the Oscar for Glory. But this was his first nomination for Best Actor in a Leading Role. A lot of people, including myself, think he should have won it. But that year, he lost out to Al Pacino for Scent of a Woman. which if you listen to any kind of like historical podcasts that go back and look at the Oscars kind of in retrospect, a lot of people think that this win for Pacino was a makeup because he never won for either of the Godfather films or Dog Day Afternoon. So like they kind of had to give him an Oscar. And so therefore Denzel doesn't get it. He does win. The other movie I was strongly considered watching was Training Day, because Denzel did win the Oscar for Training Day, and it is the 25th anniversary of Training Day also. But I ended up choosing Malcolm X, which if you've never seen it, I would highly recommend you watch it at least once. It is like a 3-hour long movie. I think 201 minutes was the runtime on MGM Plus, which is how I watched it. It is probably Denzel's career-defining performance. It is Spike Lee's career-defining movie as a director. This or Do the Right Thing. Pick your poison there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great movie. But the connection to the 2026 Oscars that I mentioned, it does co-star Delroy Lindo, who is nominated Sunday for Best Supporting Actor for his role in Sinners, which I am rooting for him.
What are the odds he wins? Have you looked at that? Have you looked at any lines?
I haven't. I don't. So I did. I mentioned on the show a couple weeks ago, I did put some money down on Sinners for Best Picture, which I'm feeling a little better about as we get closer. I don't know if there were odds for them. I'm pulling it up right now. Let's see here. Oscars. That's what I'm looking. So we have Best Picture, but we don't have anything. Let's see. Best Picture, One Battle After Another is still the strong favorite. This is interesting. The Best Actor, Michael B. Jordan, is now the heavy favorite for Best Actor, which is surprising. I thought Chalamet would be the kind of the runaway. All right, here we go. Supporting Actor. The heavy favorite is Sean Penn for One Battle After Another at minus.
That's what I've got.
At minus 371. Delroy is plus 567. I mean, I don't know.
It looks like, from what I'm seeing, it looks like originally Skarsgård was the favorite. I'm looking on Kalshi right now. Sean Penn is the favorite, but it was originally Skarsgård
yeah,
for a while. Well, actually, it started out Penn. Skarsgård took over. And then recently, the past, February 21st, Skarsgård dropped from 66% down to 28% and is now down to 20%. And Penn jumped from 17% and now is up at 71% to win.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could see is this could be like a career achievement award for Delroy.
Right.
He never won an Oscar, so that's what I'm hoping for. But I'm not gonna hold my breath. But yeah, Malcolm X was my pick for this week. So I was, I initially when I saw the challenge, Brandon, I was like, oh, maybe I can watch Inside Man. Inside Man was not nominated for any Oscars, which is shocking to me because that was a
great movie. Excellent.
It's a really good movie. So anyway. But speaking of the Oscars, I did want to, if you'll indulge me, Brandon, I'm going to run through my picks for. I'm going to do the top 8 awards. So we've got actor in a leading role.
So you're not going to give me best costume design.
No. Sorry. I don't. I could throw a name out there, but it will be a very uneducated guess. So I'm going to do the 4 acting awards. So actor in a leading role, actor in a supporting role, actress in a leading role, actress in a supporting role, best picture, best director, and then the 2 screenplay, best original screenplay, best adapted screenplay. So we'll start with actor in a leading role because that's just what's first on my sheet here. Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leo for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent, I'm going to stick with Chalamet. I do think this is Chalamet's award to lose at this point, but I would not be disappointed if Michael B. Jordan won this. I mean, he's obviously fantastic in Sinners. He just won the SAG, Screen Actors Guild Award, so could happen. But my official pick will be Chalamet for Marty Supreme.
Did Sean Penn win the SAG award as well?
SAG for I feel like he did. I'd have to double check though. There's been some back and forth on the supporting act. Like Skarsgård's won, and let's see. Yes, Sean Penn did win for best supporting actor.
I wonder if when were the SAG awards?
Last week, I think.
Last week
or week before. So while you're looking that up, so for actor in a supporting role, the nominees are Benicio del Toro, One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, and the two we've just been talking about, Sean Penn, One Battle After Another, Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. I do think Sean Penn will win. I'm rooting really hard for Delroy Lindo, just because he's had such a great career. And he is very good in Sinners too, for what that's worth. So, but it would be kind of a surprise based on how the preliminary awards have gone up to this point. Delroy hasn't really been nominated or won many of them. So,
so I will say, yeah, I think the flip on the Chalamet Jordan award is because of the SAG Awards, because prior to March 1st, Chalamet was the heavy favorite.
Yeah. No, that was
flipped. So if you still think Chalamet's going to get it, now would be a good time to get in. In fact, I'm actually going to throw a couple of bucks.
Well, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help your
I think we need to pull out the Newman clip over here. Where are you, Newman? There we are.
Oh, no. Don't tell me. You're gambling again, aren't you?
Yep, we are, Newman. Okay. Best actress actress in a leading role. Jessie Buckley, Hamnet, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson, Song Sung Blue, Renetta Rinsby, Sentimental Value. I think I pronounced that right, hopefully. And Emma Stone for Begonia. This is Jessie Buckley's to lose, I think. I would not be disappointed if Rose Byrne won. But Jessie Buckley, I believe, is the heavy favorite right now as we sit here. So that would be my pick. A lot of Kate Hudson talk for Song Sung Blue. I have not seen it. But that would be an upset if she were to win. Actress in a supporting role, we have the two actresses from Sentimental Value, Elle Fanning and Inga. I'm not going to try to pronounce the rest of her name, but she is very good. They're both very good in Sentimental Value. Amy Madigan for Weapons. And then I thought I knew how to pronounce her name. The woman from Sinners who plays, I think it's Smoke's wife. Whichever one of the Michael B. Jordans that doesn't become a vampire, his wife. And then Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. I feel like this was kind of wide open. Amy Madigan won the SAG Award for Weapons. She's getting a lot of love. I think it's Tiana Taylor, but I'll ride with Amy Madigan for Weapons. Again, would not be if Musaku for Sinners won. Would not be disappointed. I actually wouldn't be disappointed if anybody wins in this category. I think Elle Fanning would be kind of an upset because I don't think she's the best actress in that movie, let alone in this category. I think Inga's probably a better candidate.
I just discovered that you can bet on chess on Rebet.
Oh my gosh!
if you're interested.
Well, We've lost Brandon for the rest of the show.
All right, Fall, you take it from here.
Can you go back and look at Bobby, searching for Bobby Fischer?
There we go.
Okay, let me run through. Let me do the 2 screenplay categories. So, adapted screenplay, the nominees are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. I feel like this is One Battle After Another's to lose. The only other one that possibly could get it, maybe Train Dreams. Maybe. I think Train Dreams is probably going to win for cinematography, if it's going to win for anything. Original screenplay, Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Feels like this is Sinners to lose. The only other one, maybe Sentimental Value. I just can't see anything else winning in this category. And then for Best Director, let me find the nominees here. I lost it. Cinematography. Oh, here we go. Directing. They kind of put it in a weird spot. So you have Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. She previously won for, I believe, Nomadland was the movie she won for a few years ago. Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme. Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another. Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value. And Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Now, what I kind of hope happens is one of the following. Either Paul Thomas Anderson wins for director and Sinners wins for Best Picture, or Ryan Coogler wins for director and One Battle After Another wins for Best Picture.
So you want
that's my hope.
You want each of them to get something,
right?
Basically,
I would like each. So for director, I'll put my money down. If I had to put my money down on something, I would put Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. Again, would not be disappointed if it ends up being Ryan Coogler at all. Would definitely be an upset if it's anybody else at this point. And then for I do want to mention, and I think I mentioned this on the show a while back, live action short film. I did watch The Singers. It's on Netflix. It's like a 17-minute short film and was blown away by it. It was really good. So I do hope it wins best live action short film. I haven't seen any of the other ones, so I can't really speak to its chances, but yeah, I'll just throw that out there. Best Picture. Okay, so the nominees here are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Kind of went through what I hope happens. I really want Sinners to win this. What I think also could happen, I just realized they have a casting award this year. So for Best Casting, the nominees there are Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. So what they probably could do is give Sinners the casting award and then give Best Picture to One Battle After Another. I talked about this on the show. I think I did my rankings last week or the week before. I could see Hamnet winning this. I could see Sentimental Value winning. I could see maybe The Secret Agent even winning. The one that would really surprise me is something like F1 or Frankenstein. Like those would be very surprising. But aside from that, that's how I think the show's going to go. I do think Secret Agent wins. Well, I would say it might win Best International, but It Was Just an Accident. It's getting a lot of praise. I don't know if you know the story behind that, but the director, it's a Pakistani film, and basically the director is going to jail for making this film. I don't know the full story. I'm not going to get into. You can do a quick Google search on that if you want, but I do know there's a lot of political tumult, I would say, around this film. So the Oscars are not shy of awarding those kind of films. Maybe that happens. But anyway, I will definitely be watching on Sunday. Conan O'Brien is hosting again, so looking forward to that.
So both of us will be watching some selections this Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be keeping an eye on the selection show for the March Madness because I actually need to check on this because Stephen F. Austin, my alma mater, finished the regular season 27-4. I think I mentioned this last week on the show.
Because they won the regular season for their conference.
Right, but they're in the Southland Conference, so they do have to win the conference tournament in order to...
Yeah, you're not getting 2 bids from that league, but...
Yeah, if Miami of Ohio can't get in and they're, like, undefeated... yeah, like
I will tell you, like, we were having this discussion, is, like, if they, like, don't win their conference tournament, like, I have them, like, ranked 90th in my, like, power ratings.
Wow.
So, like, I would, like... If we were just basing it just based purely on my ratings, they would not make it into the tournament.
So, quick update.
No, I will say the NCAA has not called and asked me for for any help yet. So,
well, here we'll keep our fingers crossed. Quick update: SFA did win in the semifinals today of the Southland tournament. 60-58 over Texas A&M Corpus Christi, so they got to squeak it out. Had to squeak it out.
So they'll play the winner of McNeese and UT Rio Grande. Is what it
and McNeese is 26-5 this season, and the tournament is in Lake Charles, which is where McNeese is located. Be tough for the Lumberjacks, but you know.
I will say that I do have the McNeese. I do have them rated higher, so. My money will be on McNeese winning that, assuming that they can get past Rio Grande.
I'm just looking at McNeese's schedule. So they did beat. So they beat Louisiana by like 20 points. They beat George Washington, Murray State, Middle Tennessee State. Wow, that's some decent wins on their roster, on their resume here. Beat Rhode Island. Isn't that where Lamar Odom went to school? University of Rhode Island?
Sure.
Maybe. I don't know. They did lose. McNeese did lose to Michigan by 41 points in December. There's that. But anyway, that's a tough one. All right. Okay. So I think that does it for our non-football talk. Any college football, anything college football related catch your eye this week? I don't really think. Well, Saban was at the White House talking about the NIL. I don't know if you saw that, about trying to wrangle in the whole NIL. I don't know the whole full story.
He wasn't there to try to run the.
No, that I can't. Yeah, that I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. No, I'm not gonna go there. Let's move on.
Our defense will be shifting to a cover 2 man in the Persian Gulf.
It might be. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe that was an ulterior motive to have Saban there. Who knows? But now let's talk about the legal tampering window. And do you want to do our teams first, or do we want to talk about the Crosby news since it's fresh hot off?
This is kind of related to the Cowboys, so I think we can lead in with the Crosby news.
There you go.
Right before we came on air, we found out that Maxx Crosby had failed his physical with the Ravens, so the Ravens will be getting back their 2 first-round picks.
First-round picks.
First-round picks. Maxx Crosby remains a Raider, and so they have him.
Was there a player included in that trade, or it was just picks?
I think it was just picks.
It was just picks? Okay.
Yeah,
I thought for some reason I thought there was a player too,
but there is a question now of like, I don't know, because the Raiders were spending a lot in free agency.
Yeah.
So part of that was that I think they had to, didn't they need to make the salary floor? Weren't they like below it? Wasn't that part of
we talked about this with Ross a couple weeks ago, because the Saints were in that group. They had to spend so much to meet the salary floor. I think the Raiders were there. But yeah, no, the Raiders, I was actually, before this news, I was going to come on here today and say I thought the Raiders did a pretty darn good job. I mean, they signed Tyler Linderbaum, who was one of the big free agents out there. They signed Nakobe Dean from the Eagles. They signed, who's the other linebacker they signed? The former Georgia linebacker that they signed, Quay Walker.
Walker, yeah,
from the Packers, yeah. And so I mean, yeah, they were out there spending money, man. That now they, I guess, don't have. Like, if the Crosby thing, I don't know how that works.
So I think you're going to need to you're going to need to make that trade happen pretty fast.
Well, yeah. So I'll give you my backstory here. So I had run out to get dinner for my wife, and I'm driving home, and I get the alert. This has been for the last 2 days. It's like anytime I see Adam Schefter's picture pop up on my phone, it's like, okay, what happened? So it says, and it just was like very plainly like Maxx Crosby deal, or Ravens back out of Maxx Crosby trade. And I was like, excuse me? Like, what? It's almost like every once in a while there's a Schefter tweet or notification where it's like you think he's been hacked, but it turns out he wasn't hacked. Like the Parsons trade last year was like that. It was like Michael Parsons traded for – it's like, wait, excuse me? But yeah, so I was going to come on the show here tonight and ask you as a Cowboys fan, because apparently the Cowboys were the runner-up in this sweepstakes. And the cost we now know, the Ravens sent or were going to send the Raiders this year's first-round pick, which was number 14, I believe. It was in that 14 to 16 range.
Right. The Ravens pick this year, yes, was 14.
And then they were going to send them next year's first-round pick. So basically what the Cowboys or what the Packers gave up to get Micah. It was basically that similar deal without a player, without Kenny Clark. So my question to you is going to be, well, okay, knowing that, why would the Cowboys not give the Raiders like number 12 or I would guess the Raiders would want 12 probably.
Yeah, but like after you fail in medical, you kind of think.
Well, no. I was saying this was before all this.
Yeah,
yeah.
The Cowboys had already offered a first and a future second. They weren't,
but they weren't going to go. They weren't going to go two first.
No, because they had already done that with Quinnen, and so I think they had that offer on the table. I think the Raiders liked it, but Baltimore needed something, and so went over the top.
To your point, now that we know, and it has come out that apparently the Ravens doctors would not clear Crosby after his knee. He had a procedure in January on his left knee, I believe. And the Ravens doctors would not clear him. Excuse me. Do the Ravens go back to the Cowboys and say, hey, if you still want to give us a 1 and a 2, I mean, at this point.
I think if you're the Cowboys, you're saying, buddy, if you think you're getting a single one now, you got another thing going.
It's like it reminds me of the Wire, where he's like the price of the brick went up. Or
well, the price of a brick just went
down.
Now
it went down, yeah, but you get my point. Yeah, I mean, man, if you're the Raiders, this now the other thing this reminds me of is the Drew Brees situation. Now, obviously, this is a little different. When Drew Brees was deciding where to go in free agency after he left the Chargers, obviously he was coming off that shoulder injury. And the story Nick Saban has told was that, because Nick Saban was the coach of the Dolphins at the time, the story was that they were ready to sign Brees, and they had everything. They had him in Miami. They were ready to go, and the Dolphins doctor would just not sign off. And
I think at that point you get a new doctor.
Well, I mean, Saban had already talked to Jim Andrews, who did the surgery, and Andrews, I think it was Jim Andrews, and Andrews was like, yeah, Brees is going to be fine. Culpepper's going to have trouble coming back because of like scar tissue or whatever. And the Dolphins doctor would not sign off on Brees's shoulder, to the point where like the Dolphins couldn't do the deal with Brees, but Brees's agent asked Saban, like, can you keep this quiet for like 48 hours so we can get a deal done in New Orleans, which they did. And so
Nick Saban should have Nick Saban should have just blown it up and just said no.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, so, I mean, this is different because it's a trade situation. So, like, I'm sure the Ravens were like, well, screw this. Like we're not taking this guy on if we're not comfortable with the medical. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens now because a lot of domino effects here. I mean, the Raiders, as we talked about, like all these deals that they've agreed to in principle now, are they in danger of,
N'Kobe Dean, come on down, baby.
Well, or Linderbaum. Like, think about this now. I just thought about this. What if the Ravens nix this trade so that Linderbaum can't sign with the Raiders? So now the Ravens can, you know what I mean? Like, is that something? Like, is that a possibility?
Well, did you see the story about the Cowboys and Dean?
No.
So they apparently they offered basically like they matched the Raiders offer, and he went to the Raiders because he wanted to go play with his Georgia buddies.
Okay.
So
cool.
No one said that that they were teaching him much in school over there in Georgia. So
well,
you're gonna raise
one trade that the Cowboys did pull off was with the Packers. 2 years in a row, Cowboys and Packers make a trade. This time, the Cowboys get Rashawn Gary, who has a history with Christian Parker.
Yep.
Right?
He was there when Parker was in Green Bay when they drafted him.
And that was Gary's best season, was his rookie year, right? If I remember correctly. So that's exciting for the Cowboys.
Well, and the good thing about this is like he doesn't have any guaranteed money left on the contract, so basically they're going to be able to restructure this deal so it's not costing them like $18 million against the cap, which is I think what the number is right now, which makes the deal a lot better.
So right now, Cowboys have now again. This trade is not official until the league year starts, but so the Cowboys right now have Rashawn Gary, Quinnen Williams, who am I missing? Kenny Clark, and Oza Odighizuwa, right? But apparently they're Odighizuwa, excuse me. But apparently they're listening to calls on Odighizuwa.
That's what I heard. That's the rumor.
So we'll see what happens there.
What about Odighizuwa?
Why don't you go through some of the
Odighizuwa for Maxx Crosby?
There you go. Hey, I mean, why not? Well,
sure.
I mean, call up Tom Brady right now and pitch him on that idea.
There we go.
Why don't you go through some of the other Cowboy?
I think the most exciting one, like this, Rashawn Gary is a good depth piece, like a good you want to add more to your edge room, like you needed to do that anyway. But the great signing that I'm like really excited about is Jalen Thompson, who they got for 3 years, $33 million. And so he was with the Arizona Cardinals last year, or he's been with the Arizona Cardinals. He's a sort of like do it all kind of guy. Can play in the slot, can play outside corner, can play free safety. So really strong tackler, really good in coverage, and so he's sort of a chess piece that they can move around. They also brought back Malik Hooker. That was another signing. They brought back a few of their own guys. They brought back Sam Williams for a 1 year, $3 million. The other guys that they added, Donnie's here, so I want to get Donnie's opinion. One of the deals that they announced today was PJ Locke, former Longhorn, on a 1 year deal, reported at $5 million. I don't know if that's probably like the maximum amount of the deal. Yeah. Like there's probably some incentives in there because the 1 year, the first number you get is always the agent number. And so it was originally reported as 1 year, $5 million. But that's one that they've made today. And they also added another defensive tackle for 1 year, $3 million. I'm going to try to pronounce this name. They signed him from the Chargers. Nose tackle Otito Ogbonnia.
Excuse me?
Otito Ogbonnia.
Okay, if you say so. Buddy, I got some bad news for you.
I saw the tweets about the Cowboys not being expected to re-engage on the.
Yeah, and that's from Diana Rossini, who she's usually on the ball with.
She doesn't know
stuff,
anything.
So, well,
Well, Pelissero had tweeted.
I guess we're never having Diana on the show.
Pelissero said that they were interested in. So should we not believe Pelissero? Is that the?
I don't. Well, maybe the way Diana Rossini framed it was that the Cowboys moved on with Rashawn Gary. Like once once that trade happened, which again I understand things change.
6-1 will have basically the same player, right?
Right. Look, I don't know. It'll be something I guess to keep an eye on. But I mean, so okay, I'm reading this tweet from David Chow, who's Pro Football Doc on Twitter. And he said this was yesterday. So Ravens traded for Maxx Crosby despite his recovery from a torn meniscus. Passing a physical depends on the team, and the Ravens were clearly comfortable moving forward with the trade based on where Crosby is in his rehab. Well, Doc, apparently not. But there's a video attached to this, which I won't. I won't listen. I'm not going to pull up here, but
did you get Donnie's feedback on PJ?
Yeah, let me pull it up from. Let me pull that up from earlier here. Let me find it here. Donnie's thoughts were as follows. He was solid, but was the backup, if I remember right. Ended up starting due to injuries this season. So
depth piece,
yeah. You know,
we need some depth. We don't have any depth right now.
The other bad news, the other domino that might be bad news for the Cowboys is Trey Hendrickson's probably going to Baltimore now.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But I don't know if Dallas wanted to pay what he was looking for.
He was looking for a lot, and we've seen this, and I think part of the reason they did the Gary deal was because because Gary was going to get released by the Packers. They didn't want him getting to the free market because we've seen what some of these defensive ends have commanded in free agency. Like you saw what Jalen Phillips got. Jalen Phillips before this year couldn't stay healthy. He's getting $30 million a year.
That's Carolina money, and Carolina's been known.
It's a little funny. Well, they also paid the was it Devin Lloyd from Jacksonville? Was another one that they signed.
Yeah, the Saints were in on Devin Lloyd, and he ended up going to Carolina, which good for him.
So why don't you? We've covered most of the Cowboys items. Who do you want to? We want to talk about what the Saints have done so far.
Yeah, so we talked about this with. We just mentioned it a moment ago, and we talked about it with Ross. The Saints had to spend money to meet this salary cap floor, and they've ended up being like one of the top 5 spenders this offseason. Obviously, the not surprising news of Demario Davis leaving, going back to the Jets, which the Jets
are running it back with him and Geno Smith.
Yeah. Well, so him, they also signed David Onyemata, who was a Saint once upon a time. Aaron Glenn just getting the gang back together from his time in New Orleans, it appears. And then the Saints also lost Alontae Taylor to the Tennessee Titans. Ross and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. $20 million a year was not a price I was willing to pay for Alontae Taylor. I mean, God bless him. He got his money.
So Alontae Taylor was one of the guys that I wanted the Cowboys to look into, but at that price, that was too rich for my blood.
Like I said, good luck to him. I am impressed. Just a quick sidebar. I am impressed with what Tennessee has done this offseason. And we're going to we'll have a discussion about that here in a little bit. But getting back to the Saints, so Travis Etienne was the big signing, obviously. 4 years. Originally it was reported at $52 million, but today it came back at $48 million. So it's 4 years, $48 million. I think the guaranteed money is 24 of that is guaranteed. I'll have to double check, but obviously local guy. He's from Jennings, Louisiana, which is not too far from where I grew up. I actually pass through Jennings every time I go home from Houston. So shout out to him. We also signed David Edwards, guard from Buffalo, 4 years, $81 million. He was a big signing. Apparently,
literally and figuratively.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. Yeah. So he will probably play left guard for the Saints. They were kind of a rotating position there between Trevor Penning, who we ended up trading to the Chargers, Dylan Radance, who he signed from Tennessee. So Edwards is going to step in there. He has a relationship with Will Clapp, who was with the Saints. He retired and is now on the coaching staff, but he and Edwards, I think, were teammates once upon a time, so that was kind of the connection there. The other one the next two kind of surprised me, or pleasant surprise, Noah Fant, tight end, who I liked coming out of Iowa.
You're a fan to him?
I was a Noah Fant. Yes, I was a Fant of Noah. I liked him coming out of college. Donnie might remember because he was a Bronco once upon a time, I believe.
That's what I think of him as. Is like
a
Bronco.
And our good friend Trang might remember too because he was he was in the Russell Wilson trade, right? Wasn't he part of the?
Was he?
Wasn't he?
Oh, I think that's right.
Wasn't he part of that deal? Donnie might remember. I don't know, but we could check into that. But yeah, just a very 2 years, $8.75 million. Nothing crazy. I think it basically is a 1 year deal based on how they structured it.
It's a 2 year deal, but in reality,
yeah.
So the Denver Broncos acquired Russell Wilson, giving up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and players Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and Shelby Harris.
There you go. But I knew Noah Fant in college as an Iowa Hawkeye because my in-laws are all Iowa Hawkeye fans. So, yeah, be interested to see add some depth to that position with Juwan Johnson. And then today, another signing that kind of surprised me was Caden Ellis, who was started with the Saints, went to Atlanta for a couple of years, and now is coming back 3 years, $33 million. He is probably going to end up being he can't really replace DeMario Davis, but that's basically what they're going to use, I think, Caden Ellis as. Yeah, I mean it's a good signing. He's still got some years on him. I mean,
I just
it's basically the same contract to Mario.
Oh, sorry. I just saw that your punter, you traded your punter to the Texans.
Yes, so our first signing was actually punter Ryan Wright, who was a Tulane University graduate, so he's coming back home. And as a result, we traded Kay Kroger, punter from last year, who was not good, to the Texans, and got a round 6 and 7 pick swap as part of that. So, yeah, so the Saints are. I really am pleasantly surprised with how the Saints have been active this offseason so far. I really feel like these moves set them up for the draft to do best player available. So I don't know how to tell you this, buddy, but I don't know if Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles is making it to Dallas at 12 because they might be coming to New Orleans at this point, depending on some things. The ATN signing, the way Todd McShay put it on his show was general managers ideally would want to pay a running back on a rookie contract than pay a veteran. So the fact that the Saints have signed ATN and the Chiefs have signed Kenneth Walker is pretty much the Saints and Chiefs saying Jeremiah Love's not making it to us in the draft. So we're going to go out and just pay the piper.
Get somebody that we know is good and put them in there.
Right. Yeah. Which I listen. I mean, ATN when he's healthy is good. I mean, he was a good piece for the Jaguars. Obviously, coming back home for him. exciting. So I now obviously the domino effect here with Alvin Kamara. We got to wait and see on what happens there. I think at the end of the day, he just retires. I think it's just he's going to retire or.
Well, let me tell you, as someone who drafted him in fantasy this year, that dude is washed.
Yeah. I mean, I do think the Saints could stand to get another running back. Obviously, I'm not saying I did think if the Saints did end up drafting Jeremiah Love, it would be akin to the Falcons signing Kirk Cousins and then drafting Michael Penix. Like it would be that kind of situation. But I don't think that's going to happen at this point.
I sent you that one Falcons meme, and then immediately because I shared that, like my For You tab was immediately all of the Falcons memes, and so just like Falcons. There was the did you see the Garbage Man? It was like Falcons signing free agents, and it was like this one guy who was just like he was riding a garbage truck and just like sprinting and like grabbing the bags and sprinting back.
Oh, no, I didn't see that one. I did see. I've mentioned the NFL Stock Exchange podcast with Trevor and Connor. They do all the draft stuff, and they did a live show, like a live mock draft yesterday. You know, kind of reacting to some of these signings, and they do super chats, and they read the super chats at the end. So there was a clip where somebody was like, "Hey, what about my super chat?" And it was a Falcons fan, and Trevor was like, "Yeah, we'll get to it at the end." And so they get to it at the end, and it literally was just, the Falcons are making my life miserable. Oh. And they were like, that's what you wanted? That's what you paid $5 or whatever it is to tell us? Like that's all it was. So
you got it.
Falcons fans are.
I mean, people pay for therapy. Yeah, that was just somebody paying for therapy.
Yeah, Falcons fans going through it right now, as the kids say. I mean, as you pointed out, surely Michael Penix and Tua can't be injured at the same time. This season. So
yeah, one of them will get hurt. Somebody said that. What was it? Tua is one hit away from his favorite color being 17.
So the Dolphins tweeted out like a "Thank you Tua" tweet.
Oh yeah, it was like the saddest.
Well, no, and then I saw someone retweet and said, "This guy can't even remember the memories," or something like. It's like, oh man,
what was the other one I found was
that's enough. That's enough internet for today.
It was like, oh, the Dolphins cut Tua. He's going to be so sad when he hears about this again tomorrow.
Man, yeah. Listen, I hope I've said this before on the show. Like, I just hope Tua does what's best for him.
Well, he already went to the Falcons, so that's
breaking news. The Cowboys have signed a 1-year deal with Sam Howell.
Why do I know
backup
that?
Quarterback?
Oh,
Sam Howell.
There we go.
There you go. Got a little insurance there for Dak.
Yeah, just in case Joe Milton doesn't work out.
Former Eagles quarterback Sam Howell. So maybe he's got some intel, some insider information that he can share with the boys. So yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd get some breaking news during the show here. Oh, I did want to mention the Carolina Panthers today released A'Shawn Robinson, former Saint.
Oh.
And one of my favorite running jokes is Ryan, who's co-host of the Saints Block Party podcast. I have never seen Ryan and A'Shawn Robinson in the same room at the same time, which I mean, he looks, it's uncanny how much he looks like. So like I quote tweeted, I said, tough break for at that boy Wolf. And then I think Adam, who's the co-host, Ryan's co-host on Saints Block Party podcast, replied and said, or not replied to me, but like retweeted and said, Saints have a chance to do the funniest thing, which would be to resign So yeah, so shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Saints Block Party Podcast. They are a great source for free. Like basically all the moves the Saints have done, they pretty much called. They were like, "Hey, watch out for them to do, XYZ," and that's basically what the Saints have done. So shout out to them. And they are big Caleb Downs fans. Even before all the free agency, they were real big on the Saints. They just think he'll fit well in the Staley defense.
Yeah,
so,
but he also has that degenerative knee condition, so don't forget about that.
Well, if the Ravens doctors,
have you seen this? Because people are now saying that the Raiders announced that not that Maxx Crosby failed the physical, but that the Ravens backed out of the trade, and so people are starting to call like, did the Ravens just get cold feet and say like, maybe we shouldn't have done two first. If we could maybe we can just get Trey Hendrickson instead. So.
Okay.
All right. I need you to vamp for a second. I will.
All right.
While I step away.
I'll vamp. Yeah. So let's talk about some other free agency news. I know Donnie. If Donnie's still in the chat, I know the Broncos parted ways with Dre Greenlaw. So he's out there. He's out there ready to be picked up. So just pull up a tracker here. Let's see. So we had Tyler Linderbaum, who's kind of the consensus number one pick there, or number one free agent. He signed with the Raiders again. I guess contingent on this whole Maxx Crosby thing. George Pickens, franchise tag. Alec Pierce. I want to ask Brandon when he gets back about the Alec Pierce signing, because that was pretty big deal. Jalen Watson goes from the Chiefs to the Rams. So two Chiefs going to the Rams. Trent McDuffie in the trade. And then Jalen Watson signs with the Rams in free agency. We just mentioned the Jalen Phillips move. The Broncos did lose John Franklin Myers to the Titans. That's one of the signings from the Titans that I really liked for them. Kind of beef up that defensive line there under Robert Saleh. Brandon, I wanted to ask you about this Alec Pierce signing. So obviously the Cowboys put the franchise tag on Pickens, and then Alec Pierce goes out and gets 4 years, $116 million to stay with the Colts, which is good for him. But
that's a lot of money for Alec Pierce, I think.
That's a lot of money for Alec Pierce. Yeah, because I think a couple days ago, I think it was PFF was saying that the Saints might be a good spot for Alec Pierce, and I was thinking, not at that
not
money.
At the price he was going to get.
Not at that price, no. So, I was just going through some of the other signings. We mentioned the Jalen Phillips signing with the Panthers, and then I was just mentioning Donnie's Broncos losing John Franklin Myers, defensive tackle, to the Tennessee Titans. One of their moves. So
I think two. Wait, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, any moves that stuck out to you?
Well, I think there's two things that are funny. First of all, the Eagles have lost quite a few players, which certainly doesn't hurt my feelings. They did add. We talked about the show already that they added Reek Woolen, which is good luck with that. The other thing is the Texans they finally started to add some offensive line help, which is good, because at the beginning I was starting to worry. It looked like they were just like they were going to try to win games, 6-3 the whole season because they were just adding defensive players everywhere. It was like, let's just bring in some more defensive players, and so like they finally started.
Who is it?
The Texans.
Oh, the Texans.
Yeah, it's like we need to ensure ourselves against every C.J. Stroud eventuality here because we can see how he melts down. But they finally started to get some offensive line help, so it took them long enough.
Well, they re-signed Ed Ingram, right? The
Right.
Texans did.
They're one of their tackles, and then they brought in somebody else for on the other side.
Yeah, I'm pulling up. I'm trying to pull up something here to tell me. I thought I had it lined up, but I guess not. Any thoughts while I'm pulling this up? Any thoughts on the Kyler Murray situation where we think he might?
I saw that he didn't want to sign with the Jets because he wasn't tall enough to ride the rides at the local theme park.
Well, the Jets made a move today. They traded for Geno Smith, which okay. Welcome back.
Yeah, the other thing that I saw was somebody post. You know the guy whispering in George W. Bush's ear on 9/11.
Yeah.
George Bush had a Jets hat on and said, "Sir, a second Geno Smith has hit the Jets."
Man, I mean, I think we need to get in early on the Aaron Glenn first coach fired.
Yeah, that's that feels like a lock. Of course,
now
we were pretty convinced about some
about McDaniel.
Now was the one we were on last year.
Which we were right. We were just early. I'll remind folks. The Geno Smith thing. What was I going to say? Oh, what do you think of your guy? You think your guy Arch Manning's going to do to the Jets what Eli did to the Chargers, and
he could do like a who's the Kansas kid, the Kansas basketball kid who keeps sitting out of games so he doesn't have to go to the Kings.
I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, that's a situation. I don't know. Arch doesn't seem like the type to do that. He seems more.
So
that's just my personal take.
So right now it would probably be the Jets or the Cardinals. Now the Cardinals obviously released Kyler Murray. It was thought that the Cardinals were the betting favorite to land Malik Willis, but Malik Willis ends up going to the Dolphins to be with Jeff Hafley, who was previously in Green Bay with Malik Willis. Now the offensive coordinator in Miami, I will remind folks, is going to be Bobby Slowick, who was previously with the Texans.
Very, very uninspired hire.
So now I will be interested if Bobby Slowick performs better with Malik Willis as his quarterback than he did with C.J. Stroud as his quarterback. Now we've got a conversation with the C.J. Stroud thing gets a little more interesting.
How good is that? Yeah, I'm curious.
But
I will say the Malik Willis contract ended up being, it was still pricey.
Yeah, it wasn't
as bad as I expected it to be 30.
It couldn't be because the Tua, they cut Tua, and that's like a $90 million dead cap.
Yeah, they hawked Tua.
Yeah. And then Tua ends up in Atlanta. Kyler Murray's still out there. Don't know where he's going to end up.
Do you think that the Falcons added Tua because now both their quarterbacks are left-handed, and so there won't be an adjustment between switching between a left-handed to right-handed quarterback when one of them inevitably gets hurt? You can just
that's probably the thinking, but I don't know. I mean,
well I'm not. Don't give them too
as
much. The Falcons are not. I don't know if they were thinking, but
as a Saints fan, it's not going to keep me up at night either way.
Yeah, they the Falcons have not exactly proven themselves to be masters of manipulation in the free agency situation right now.
No. Oh, hey, by the way, do you know who called the Saints about Derek Carr?
The Jets? The Falcons?
Nobody.
Oh, the Falcons. We talked about this.
No, nobody. No,
Nobody?
No.
Okay, I thought, okay.
Hey, Derek, you know who's been asking about you? Nobody.
I thought you were going to say the Falcons had because
no, I don't think so. No, apparently, there was that report coming out of the combine that the Saints were pretty sure Carr was going to retire, and they were also sure that they could trade him to the Jets. And the Jets were like, I don't know where you heard that from. That's news to us, kind of thing. So they instead traded for Geno Smith. Yeah, I mean, like I said, right now I'm trying to keep my expectations low, but I like the direction the Saints are going. Tampa Bay lost Mike Evans. Mike Evans is now a San Francisco 49er, which the best tweet I saw about that was that the Seahawks should immediately sign Marshawn Lattimore because of the Marshawn Lattimore-Mike Evans feud that's been ongoing.
I saw somebody say that he was like calling his agent. He was like him on the phone, his agent on the phone with the Rams, the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. It was like working through. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. We might have some more breaking news here. Oh, we have a social media message from Maxx Crosby's agent. Please hold. Max continues to be on track in his recovery, and if anything is ahead of schedule, if anything is ahead of schedule, according to his surgeon, Dr. Neil L. Atrase. Max remains on track.
Atrocity. He's a Neil Atrocity. That sounds like. I don't know if I'd want that guy operating.
Dr. Van Nostrand? Is that his doctor? Max remains on track to return during the offseason program and will undoubtedly return as the dominant game wrecker he has been these past 7 seasons. So back up for a second. So go back to what you were saying. So you're saying that the Ravens just straight up backed out? Like there was no injury?
That is what is being implied now.
Okay.
Is that the Ravens were like, actually no. And they just like made up a reason.
Okay, I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm wondering if this Linderbaum, because I would think that if this trade is now not going to go through, and now Maxx Crosby has to be on the Raiders' books, the Raiders have to back out of some of these deals that they signed, specifically Tyler Linderbaum, who just got a 3-year, the biggest contract of any center in NFL history, and maybe he now goes back to. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just like, it just makes me think.
They looked at their offensive line and was like, "Oh man, we don't have anybody to block."
I mean, I don't know. Like, is that? I don't know, man. Like, because the Ravens. Okay, so first off, the Ravens even trading for Crosby was kind of un-Raven-like, maybe, if I can say that. I mean, I know Jesse Minter is their new head coach, and obviously he's a defensive guy, and he, but like you and I were texting about this. Who was the last great like hand in the dirt edge rusher the Ravens had? I mean, obviously they've had Terrell Suggs, they've had Ray Lewis over the years, they've had but like hand in the dirt is probably Elvis, Bronco legend, as Donnie knows. Elvis Dumervil was probably the last like really great hand in the dirt edge rusher that the Ravens had. So like them trading for Crosby was kind of weird in a way. It's like in the first place, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just, this whole thing is just odd.
I do have some Cowboys Twitter people saying that they believe that this Cowboys not being interested in the Crosby thing and having been moved on is just media stuff they're feeding to the media.
Oh,
so we're full conspiracy. Full conspiracies are flying left and right now, Paul.
All right. Well, hey, I mean, let's we'll stick with the story as long as we can here. This is from James Palmer, who works for the NFL. Texted with someone on a team that had a level of interest in Maxx Crosby initially to see if they were back in. They essentially said they've been scrambling since the news broke. Quote, so much has changed since that trade with us, with everybody. WTF is what the team representative told James Palmer. I mean, yeah, now that all these, I mean, again, none of the contracts that have been reported over the last 2 days are official. They can't be official until tomorrow, till the new league year. This is from Jane Slater. Talking to other GMs around the league on the Maxx Crosby situation, his post-meniscus recovery in generalities, one had this to say, quote, he was never going to pass a physical based on where he is in recovery. Something else had to lead to this decision. Do they think he is too far behind in rehab, don't like the images of recovery, or something else potentially? Diana Rossini, don't expect teams to be lining up immediately to get back into Maxx Crosby trade talks. Some teams I spoke to tonight expect the Raiders to be the ones calling them. It'll be up to individual teams' medical staffs to decide on whether to assume the risk of trading for Crosby. So this is obviously a very fluid situation.
Paul, we got some other news in a different league.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you seen this Bam Adebayo?
I'm looking at my TV here. There's a live look in. What do we got here? What do we
83 points.
Jesus. Bam indeed. How much time we got left here? Are we looking at
8 left in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so no Wilt Chamberlain, no 100-point game tonight, but still.
Oh, they took him off the court. What are we doing here? Come on, Miami.
What was the Kobe? How much did Kobe have?
He just broke the Kobe number.
Okay. I didn't realize Adebayo was. I mean, I knew he was a good player, but I didn't realize he was like that kind of scorer.
Well, he's not, but they're playing the Wizards, so.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, here's a conspiracy theory from someone.
Here's a tweet. Here's a Maxx Crosby tweet. Before you read that,
go ahead.
I don't care if Maxx Crosby has AIDS. Sign that cracker.
Okay. Jason La Confura, who is another longtime NFL reporter, just got off the phone with 2 GMs, neither one buying the Ravens' failed physical narrative, not by a long shot. Good luck finding agents and teams to trust you in negotiations now. It's not sitting well with the Raiders either. Could have got further medicals on Crosby way sooner. So a lot of finger pointing at the Ravens in this situation. The conspiracy theory tweet I saw was, my conspiracy is that the Ravens back-channeled a deal with Trey Hendrickson and used the physical as an excuse to back out of the Maxx Crosby trade. We'll know tomorrow. Now that's shady. If they like, but why even do that? Like, why? Okay, if you're gonna do that, just go sign Trey Hendrickson. Like, why are you coming?
They saw the price tag go. They saw the price tag going down. They're like, wait a second.
But you knew. Like, it's not like Crosby's deal was a secret. Like, what are we doing here? This is from Michael Silver. One high-ranking executive for a team that talked to the Raiders about Crosby.
That's Adam Silver. Sorry, I was like, isn't that
that's the commissioner. No, Michael Silver is a columnist for The Athletic. One high-ranking executive for a team that talked to the Raiders about Crosby told me, quote, I don't know what they do now. I don't know how they walk it back, unquote. Presumably another team could assess Crosby's knee, decide the risk is palatable. They won't get 2 ones, though, and that's what we were just talking about. Like, the price of the brick has gone down at this point. Bill Simmons is tweeting about the Bam Adebayo thing. He said, if you did a 77-point game draft in September, Bam would not have been one of the first 50 picks.
I saw that tweet too.
Yeah, so again, I don't watch the NBA religiously, and I know who Bam Adebayo is, but like the fact that he scored 80-something points, it's like, wait a minute, this is weird, right? Or this is not expected, right?
So apparently, first time. Have you seen that? This is not the first time the Ravens have done this. 18 Sign Ryan Grant's a big deal. Michael Crabtree becomes available. Fail Ryan Grant's physical. Get out of deal, sign Crabtree. Ryan Grant hadn't missed a game his entire career
Okay.
when they failed his medical.
All right, let me just say this right now. I don't want to hear anybody ever talk about the Saints salary cap shenanigans ever again. The Saints have not done stuff like this, right? Like this is if the Ravens are doing this crap, then like they need to get we need to get some. I'm not saying that Goodell should throw the book at them, but like people need to at least like give them static about it. Jay Glazer, this is from a couple, I guess about 30 minutes ago. Teams around the NFL are definitely shocked, to say the least, at the Ravens backing out, and a few teams who were previously interested already committed their money elsewhere, so they can't jump in now. Bad all around. So a little, yeah. I mean, this is insane. This is a.
We got
This is
my For You timeline is like a huge mix of like random stupid memes and Maxx Crosby.
yeah. And by the way, meanwhile, in the World Baseball Classic, Italy is beating the United States 3-0.
The baseball. Hey, that's a spicy baseball.
That's just. Do we think the Cowboys are adding Sam Howell because they're going to trade Joe Milton? Could that be what they're doing?
Ooh, he's part of the package to get Crosby.
I mean, do you think the Raiders would want Joe Milton? That's this whole thing ends with the Raiders trading for Joe Milton and not taking Fernando Mendoza.
There we go.
That would be the
Al Davis's body rises from the grave to turn in the car.
and the
Just
Jets
win,
are sitting
baby.
there like, and the Jets are sitting there like, wait a minute.
We just Gino,
Oh man,
get out of here.
yeah, and then Gino fails his physical all of a sudden. Can I interest you as a Cowboys fan? Can I interest you in a slightly used Cam Jordan? He is out there for. He could be a new patron saint / Cowboy. He is out there looking for. He might end up coming back to the Saints too. I don't know. I do think the Saints. The deadline has passed because they had to either restructure his deal or it became dead cap at like 4:00 this afternoon. So I think that's. I mean, this is really something. The Eagles, Jaguars, Cowboys, and Bears were interested in Crosby. None of these teams added much pass rush help, though Cowboys did add Rashawn Gary. Which of these teams would take the risk with discounted price? I mean, the Cowboys would probably take the risk, right? I don't know how much the Bears. Andy's probably not in the chat. I don't know if the Bears would be back in on. I mean, if you're the Raiders, I think the Cowboys would be kind of your first call, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I think the Cowboys. I mean,
somebody just posted a image with the Houston Texans logo. It says the Cleveland Browns have backed out of our trade agreement for Deshaun Watson.
I saw that one too.
No, so I did want to. I'm sorry I didn't lead with this, but I guess the Raiders did not invoke the no backsies clause on the Ravens.
No.
So. Yeah, I mean, this is. So Ian Rappaport 2 hours ago reported that it was medical reasons, but I guess now we're finding out that is not the case. Yeah, and Mike Tannenbaum is saying potential impact to make all the signings that the that the Raiders agreed to. Those could be, yeah. Adam Farrell from the NFL said the Raiders can't afford to take Maxx Crosby back with the players they verbally agreed to terms with. They may have to back out of contracts if they can't find a trade partner.
I mean, even if we don't end up with Maxx Crosby and we end up with Nakobe Dean, this was a successful botch by the Ravens.
I mean, this is I can't remember something like this happening. I mean, you mentioned the Ravens may have done this before, but yeah, this is crazy to me. This is really something. I do feel like somebody's going to get Maxx Crosby on like a discount, and
it would be.
I just hope.
Let
me put it this way: I hope whoever does get Maxx Crosby plays Baltimore next year.
Well, that would
I'll
be
put
great.
It that way.
Maxx Crosby tears up the Ravens on the way to like securing a championship for some team. Who knows who that could be?
I mean, yeah, it would have to be like. Did the Cowboys play the AFC North this year? Do you know? Do you remember? Or no, they did last year, didn't they? Didn't they play?
So 2026 would not be a NFC North year for us because we played them in 2016, 20, and 24, so it'd be 2 years from now.
But I guess if you play them in the Super Bowl, maybe. Yeah. I mean, if you're a Raiders fan, man, my heart goes out to you. If anybody listening to this is a Raiders fan, my heart goes out to you because I mean, you guys were this was kind of a reset for the franchise. They had these 4 big signings: Linderbaum, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, and then is it Kwity Paye? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Kwity Paye, yeah.
Kwity Paye. I mean, those are big signings, and then obviously you're going to get Mendoza, and you were going to have the number 14 pick in the draft. Like that's a piece of this too. You could potentially get Mendoza and get, I don't know, like maybe if a wide receiver or something fell to you there. Man, this is insanity.
Bam Adebayo now has the second most points in a game in NBA history.
Hey, good for him. There's a feather in his cap. And nobody cares because Maxx Crosby's trade got yeah, Italy is beating the US 5-0 in the World Baseball Classic.
What are the Italians doing at baseball? Shouldn't you?
Who's the Italian baseball star? Who? I don't know.
I don't know either. I feel like there's one. Did I ever tell you my favorite Italian soccer name?
No, I don't think so.
Kevin Lasagna.
Are you serious?
That is his actual name. And it's funnier. It's funnier because his first name is Kevin. Like if it was like Mario Lasagna,
right?
If it was Mario Lasagna, like that's funny, but it's not. But Kevin Lasagna, like the parents were like, your last name's Lasagna. That's a little too Italian. We're gonna go a little easy on you. Let's go Kevin. Kevin Lasagna.
Yeah, what was yeah, there was a name that like that. I heard a name earlier. It was a similar thing. It's like why would you give that first name if you have this last name? I can't remember who it was.
So McNeese, it's almost halftime. McNeese State is currently up 31-20 on UT Rio Grande Valley.
Okay, so it looks like it's going to be McNeese and SFA in the finals there.
Looks like it.
Well, buddy, I don't know. Do we have anything else we want to chat about?
No, I think we've covered most covered most of our teams, and I think we've gotten into some of the more interesting signings, and we've tried to see if we could wait out for a Maxx Crosby update. But I think that'll probably happen tomorrow. I'm guessing.
I'm guessing. Did you have any other? Well, here. Let me just kind of go through a couple other things. The Kenneth Walker to Kansas City thing. Just Chiefs just find a way to do it again. Travis Kelce coming back to the Chiefs. That was made official.
Shocker.
What'd you think of the DJ Moore trade to Buffalo? Any thoughts on that?
That cost is a little rich for me.
Okay.
Second round pick for DJ. DJ Moore is fine, but I don't know if I would pay. Like the Cowboys got George Pickens for a third. That feels like a much better use of resources.
Yeah.
But I think they're pretty desperate. I think the Bills have been pretty desperate to try to solve that wide receiver situation for a while, and I think they finally just this is.
Well, and to be fair, where Buffalo picks in the second round is almost like a third rounder because they're usually towards the back end of the round. But yeah, a couple of signings I liked that I did want to mention before we head out. Rico Dowdle signing with Pittsburgh. I thought that was a good pickup for the Steelers.
With Mike McCarthy.
That's right. Steelers also traded for Michael Pittman. That's kind of a effect from Alec Pierce getting that money in Indianapolis. They had to trade Michael Pittman, so the Steelers get that done. Shout out to our friend Trang, Rashid Shaheed, back with Seattle. Got a new contract with the Seahawks, so good for him. And then Wan'Dale Robinson. Again, I really liked what the Titans did. Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, the Titans did end up signing a bunch of players that either played for Robert Saleh or Brian Daboll at one point.
Did you say
that notwithstanding?
Did you see somebody? Somebody posted. It was Brian Daboll. What if we signed all the players that got me fired?
Right. That's kind of what happened, but yeah, they signed another. Oh, Bellinger, the tight end, Daniel Bellinger. They signed him too. Yeah. So quite a crazy day in the NFL, I would say. But yeah, we'll be back next week. We don't have time to do it this week. Maybe next week we can do a mock draft. We'll maybe try to pull up a mock draft simulator and see what we can do for our teams. By that point, we'll know a couple more. We'll have a couple more pieces in place. We'll maybe have this Maxx Crosby thing sorted out. Again, the new league year. When is the year start? Is it 4 Eastern tomorrow? I think it's either noon Eastern or 4 Eastern. I can't remember. But at that time, all these trades and signings can be official. Obviously, the Ravens and Raiders trade will not be official now because that's been
4 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out on all that. Who knows? But by this time next week, we'll see where we are, see what other signings our teams have made, other signings that the other teams have made. We'll know the field of 68 for the NCAA tournament this time next week. I will be a year older. My birthday coming up on Monday, so I'll tell you all about it. Probably won't be anything too exciting, but it is what it is. But we will chat with everybody next week. Brandon, hope you have a good week, and we'll see everybody next week. Happy New Year. Happy new league year, everybody.
Happy new league year. And now I got to find the music. Sweet Fancy Moses. Sweet Fancy Moses. What is it? There it is. That's the way to end the league year.
Yeah. Happy football, everybody.
Not be able to find your music.
Yeah, there you go.